Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mr. Go Philly Eagles back. I just something I've been wanting to talk about. I'm sure everyone else has if they heard the news today. That Eagles owner Eagles owners Jeffrey and Christina Laurie are getting divorced. Um, they say it's not going to affect the way the franchise is run. I gotta be honest, I'm a little skeptical about that. Because now, here's the thing: you got a divorce that most likely is probably going to court. Um, so that means a judge is going to have final say on who gets what in this divorce. I think this thing's going to get real ugly. Now they say they're going to become good, stay good friends and all that. I don't see that happening. Um, I think this divorce is going to get ugly. Kind of like the Frank McCourt divorce last year, and not saying that because Jeffrey Lurie wasn't the shady bastard that Frank McCourt turned out to be, but it's going to get ugly because you got an NFL franchise in the mix now. So, obviously, Christina's going to want her keep her part of the franchise, that she's worked hard for. Uh, I don't know if Jeffrey's gonna buy out her part or not. I don't haven't heard that, but at the end of the day, I just don't see how they're gonna be able to maintain a friendship if she has any control with the franchise. Because basically, you're gonna be stuck with that person, upwards of 16 hours a day, and you're divorced. Um, But I also, it kind of makes me wonder what was going behind the scenes, for so long. Because I think it's funny that Joe Banner retired or resigned last month, and then almost exactly a month later, Jeff and Christina Laurie divorced. Was she messing around with Banner? Now she doesn't seem like the type of woman that would do such a thing. But when you got that kind of timeline, you can't help but wonder, what was really going on. Obviously, a judge is going to want to see financial statements to know how the money was spent. I guess that goes without saying. I just think this thing's going to get real ugly. I hope it doesn't become a distraction this year, because I think the Eagles are like have a really good chance to make a Super Bowl run this year. They have the talent. I think we finally have the talent on defense that we've been missing. Now, I know a lot of people upset we didn't get a safety, but this really wasn't a good draft for safeties anyway. There wasn't really a whole lot of good safeties on the board. They did sign O.J. Atogwe, which I think he'll provide some veteran leadership. I don't think he's going to be, the end all be all of the next Brian Dawkins. But I think some veteran leadership for the younger guys is something that was needed. So I think that was a good signing. I think D'Amico Ryans was a good signing. I think he'll do pretty good. I'm not going to say he's going to do a great job, but I think he'll do a good enough job. Um, we're stacked on the defensive line. I mean, our defensive line this year, quite possibly, might be one of the best defensive lines in all of football. I mean, if you want, Trent Cole, Colin Jenkins, Jason Babin. I mean, hell, even Derek Landry did pretty good last year. He had a pretty okay season. So I'm hoping this divorce thing does not become a distraction. Um, like I said, I think the Eagles finally have the roster they want. You got your core guys signed that you needed to take care of. You got Deshaun signed for 5 years. You got McCoy, you got Harriman, Cole. So I hope this doesn't become a distraction. I'm trying to be, hold or not hold hope. I'm trying to be faithful to that this won't be a distraction, like it was to the Dodgers last year. And another thing, because I was listening to the Mike Missinelli show today, and usually I can't stand Mike Missinelli. I think he's just comes a jerk who, if you don't agree with him, he basically calls you an idiot and gives you a dial tone. But he brought up something today that I thought was kind of interesting. What if the Eagles have to bring in a new owner if Goodell thinks, and I can't stand Goodell, but I kind of heard it. What if the Eagles have to bring in a new owner if Goodell sees this divorce being too much of a distraction? I really wouldn't have any problems with it. Miss Finelli actually made a good point. I didn't think he was capable of that. The new owner comes in with fresh cash. So, and it's like the situation with the Dodgers. They got McCord out. The bum who was, doing shady shit that I'm just not going to get into. And now this new ownership group, headed by Magic Johnson, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, has new cash, and the team is playing great out in LA. So, it remains to be seen. This was sudden, to say the least, but like I said, kind of makes you wonder what was going on behind the scenes, especially with Banner. Was he messing around with Jeffrey's wife? Possibly. Like I said, she doesn't seem like the kind of woman that would, mess around on her husband. She seems like a very well-to-do woman. But like I said, when you have things like this and how and the timeline they come across, you can't help but think it. But let me know what you think. We'll talk.